Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and welcome to this exclusive and private VIP broadcast for Top Recruiters Academy. Guys, you've probably seen this on Facebook, you've probably seen it in an email, but I gotta tell you, some of the testimonials that have been coming out of Top Recruiters Academy are staggering. Now, what do I mean by staggering? I'm talking about people that have gone into a 2-month intensive and gone from living on their credit cards to making $40,000, writing their own book and publishing it all within that 2-month period of time. I'm talking about people that have never made a penny online before, starting to have $3,000 days that they've never had before in their entire life. In fact, some of those people, when they were working a full-time job, they didn't even make that money working at a full-time position, and now they're making it in a single day. Now, my question to you is this. What would that be like if that happened for you? What would it mean for you in your life? Would it mean a different area code? Would it mean a different house? Would it mean a different car? Would it mean a different college situation or university situation for your kids? Would it mean a retirement fund? Would it mean the ability for you to be able to give back and make a difference in your family, in your community, and in your church? Now, what I want to share with you tonight here, guys, is that the information that I share comes from 30 years of being in both network marketing, MLM, offline business, capital, tens of millions of dollars that I've personally raised, and also being in a situation where I've applied these strategies to make millions and millions of dollars myself. Now, I started actually on the path of personal development in my 20s with Tony Robbins. In my 30s, I worked for 3 years as vice president with Dr. Lee Poulos, learning about the power of the subconscious mind, our core beliefs about money, our early programming from childhood, the human condition, self-sabotage. Actually, how do we create our own realities? Then in my 40s, I worked for 2 years as vice president with Dr. Dov Baron in quantum physics, really understanding the wave particle theory and how's the reality actually created. What is your part? What is your part in the creation of your reality every single day, whether it's everything you want or everything that you don't want? Now, the interesting thing is that a lot of people don't know is that there's different levels in the game. They don't even know this. The first level in the game is actually called victimhood. And most people never escape victimhood. They actually die in victimhood. Now, at the end of the first level of the game comes the spiral. That's where your entire reality starts to completely implode. Okay. Now, you may have been in a situation like that, or you may still be in a position like that right now, where you've lost your job, your home's going into foreclosure, your car's being repoed, you're living on your credit cards, you've got so many creditors calling you, going further and further and further in debt. You may have health problems, you may be in an accident, back issues, broken legs, broken arms, parents that have either passed away or somebody's been diagnosed with cancer. You could have multiple people in your reality that literally seem like they're popping like flies. That is the spiral, okay? And a lot of people don't understand this. As you're going through that spiral, your body is broadcasting wounded puppy to the electrons. The electrons are smaller than the atoms and molecules, and they're actually waiting for your instructions. Now, the electrons are in a state of what's called superposition. They're both a wave of energy and a particle of matter, both at the same time, guys. And a lot of people don't understand this. Once you understand your part, in what you are doing every single day. The moment that you get up out of bed, what's going on in here with your thoughts, what's coming out of here with your words, what you're writing about, and what you're emotionally connected to, that's sending out a broadcast out to the electrons that's going to form the reality that you're living. It's a phenomenon. And a lot of people don't understand the science behind getting rich, because it's a science, guys. It's not an accident. It's not a fluke. It's an actual science. And once you understand the game and how to use the game controller in the game, you can actually master the reality. You can become a master of the game. And when that happens, you're both the participant and the observer simultaneously. And once you learn this, I'm telling you, your life as you know it will never be the same. You will never be in a situation where you have to worry about money. In fact, once you learn these strategies, you will never ever have to worry about money ever again for the rest of your life. And I don't say that lightly, guys, okay? I want you to know that I say this from tried, tested, proven, over and over and over. I launched a business. I didn't spend any money on paid advertising for less than $1,300. And in 30 days, I made $165,000, okay? In 30 days, okay? Literally out of thin air. I've done different times where I've just proclaimed that I'm gonna make $50,000, and 2 weeks later, boom, $50,000 is in my bank account. Now, it would be one thing if it was just me, okay? If it was just me that could be able to do this. But when my students are able to do this too, geez, maybe we're on to something, right? Maybe we've got something here that's worth further investigation. Now, imagine being in a situation like this, because these are a couple stories from some of my students. Imagine being 2 months behind in rent. You have an eviction notice. You don't even have enough money to be able to feed yourself, but you have 2 kids. So you're starving yourself for 2 days at a time so the kids can eat, and you're not having any food, right? For 2 days at a time, and then you're eating, and then 2 more days, you starve, and then you eat again, okay? Now that particular person, 8 months later from implementing these strategies, had $500,000 cash in the bank. True story. One guy was completely homeless. He was living on the couch of a friend's house. 6 months later, he had $20,000 that he made in 1 month. And 3 years later, he is now the CEO of his own network marketing company, the homeless guy. Now, I want you to think about the power of that. How could a guy go from homeless to a $20,000 month in 6 months, and 3 years later, now be the CEO of his own network marketing company? One lady, she was a chief financial officer. She was already making $100,000 a year, but in 60 days, she got a $212,000 raise at her corporate job. Now, here's the kicker. It was the same job. Now, have you ever heard of something like that, where somebody's working for a corporation for 100 grand, and 60 days later, they get a $212,000 raise, up to $312,000. We have people that are now signing multi-million-dollar contracts at their job. I've got a full-time engineer that works with me part-time. He's had 2 pay raises. He's had a job promotion. He signed a $30,000 consulting contract. Plus, he made $40,000 online going through these strategies. That's all from the strategies of Top Recruiters Academy, guys. Okay, this is next level. So it doesn't matter where you're at on your life path. It doesn't matter how far down the rabbit hole that you are currently right now. It doesn't matter, right? In fact, if you're further down the rabbit hole, it will be easier for you to surrender your pride, surrender your ego, and just be coachable. And that's really the key. That's what my first millionaire mentor said to me when I was in my 20s. Now, when I got my first millionaire mentor, it cost me $4,000, guys, to get started. That's about $15,000 today, and I didn't have the money, right? And I said, Harvey, I really want to do this, but I don't have $4,000. He said, Darren, if you're ever going to make it big in our industry, The first two things that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to surrender your pride. You're going to have to surrender your ego. You're going to have to step into your power and go get the money. Okay. Now, that's a pretty tall order, okay, to come up with $4,000. And he only gave me 3 days to do it. And I knew at that point that if I didn't, that opportunity may never come for me ever again in my life. It's not like I had a Rolodex of millionaire mentors. It's not like I had a whole bunch of people that I could pick from when I was 22 years old. And this guy was the guy, right? He was doing it. He was living it. He was teaching it. And I knew that at that point in my life was going to change forever. So I drained my bank account to zero. I got a loan from my parents, which I can tell you that I really had to surrender my pride and my ego to do that. And I got a loan from the bank. I went all in for my dream. Now, the good news is I was coachable. The good news is I listened to exactly what he told me to do. And in my first month, I did $40,000 in sales from zero. I didn't spend a single penny on paid ads. And by the time I became 35 years old, I was a millionaire. Now, how about that? Now, was it worth it? Was it worth it for me to surrender my pride and surrender my ego and use all the resources that I had and go all in on my dream? I think it was, because from that information, it's allowed me now to not only make millions of dollars myself, to raise tens of millions of dollars in venture capital for private companies, for public companies, for my own companies. If I have an idea that I want to launch to market, to be able to raise 5, 10, 15 million dollars to be able to launch whatever it is that I want to do. Now, if you understand that, guys, I'm telling you that just knowing it, knowing how to do it, will completely transform not only your life, but it will transform your confidence. It will transform your self-esteem, your spiritual, emotional connection, your health and wellness, your family, your relationships, your communication with your spouse, with your children, your career, your travel, and the ability to give back to the world, right? To give back and truly make a difference, to leave a legacy behind for you and your family. And the interesting thing is that if you sort of take away all the basic necessities from people, that they obviously need a house to live in, need a car to get around in, they need some clothes to wear, they want good health, right? They want good health and fitness. They want to have good relationships. They want to have good relationships with their family and friends. They want spontaneity. They want adventure. They want freedom. They want to be able to go to bed whenever they feel tired, get up whenever they feel rested, and really have that life of freedom. Now, the interesting thing is, once you have all those things, okay, if you take every one of those things and you have them all, do you realize that the majority of people, that if you ask them the question, well, what would you do now? What would you do now that you've got all that money? The majority of people say the same thing. They want to give back, and they want to make a difference in the world, and they want to leave behind a legacy. And I really believe that the industry that we're in, the home-based business industry, that's our industry. Okay, now what they don't tell you when you first enroll is they don't tell you that the industry that we're really in is personal development. The industry that we're really in is leadership. That's the real core foundation of our business model. But what do you do to become a leader? Good question. What do you do to go from zero to 40,000 in a compressed period of time, be able to write your own book and publish it, right? What do you do to be able to get that knowledge so that you can speak with conviction of whatever it is that you're speaking about, whether it's a product or a service, whether you're a realtor or a mortgage broker, an insurance agent in the automotive industry, in retail, it doesn't matter. You could have a nightclub, a hotel, a retail outlet. It doesn't matter what your entrepreneurial business is. There's two key areas that you need to focus on. One is leadership, personal development, right? To be a CEO of a company, you need these skills. And the other one is marketing strategies. You need to be able to get your phone ringing with incoming calls, people inquiring and sending you a message saying, I want to do business with you. I saw your video. I want to do business with you, right? So incoming phone calls, incoming emails, incoming Skype requests, and incoming requests from social media. That's the ultimate goal, okay? So imagine if you learned the strategies where you got up in the morning. I just actually taught this one formula to a multiple seven-figure income earner. In fact, he's made $17 million in our industry. And I gave him this one little tiny tweak, okay? One little tweak. And he put a post on social media, and he had over 150 inquiries incoming that came into him within a 24-hour period of time. And the potential on that particular project for him was that he could make $1,000 commission. Now think about that. That means that there's $150,000 that's sitting there waiting for him, beckoning, the calling. Come and get me. Come and get me. $150,000 waiting for him in a 24-hour period of time. Now, once you learn some of these strategies, I'll actually do some Facebook posts where I will wake up in the morning and there might be, 25, 30 requests on one particular post, another 10 or 15 on another particular post, and every single one of those I can convert into $1,000 commission. Now, this is how we can help people to be able to make $1,000 to $15,000 in a single day, guys, right? So when you take somebody from zero to say 45 grand in a 30-day period of time, that's actually not a lot of sales. Think about that. It's not a lot, okay? So, but what I want to do here tonight is I want to share with you that the Top Recruiters Academy is really designed for any type of entrepreneurial business to allow you to 10x your income. Okay, it's kind of like a quantum springboard. Now, in the quantum world, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 + 1 is 11. It compounds exponentially, and all of a sudden, you've got a vertical liftoff in your business, and gateways to universal abundance start to open, okay? They literally open like magic, okay? And the universal abundance starts pouring into your life, okay? Now, the best thing to really do, guys, I'm telling you that it's best if you really hear it from somebody who's actually gone through it, okay? Now, this is a really, really, not only is it motivational, not only is it inspirational, but it's quite emotional. It's quite an emotional story, and it's quite an emotional journey, because I want you to picture what it would be like for you if you're a parent and you not only have one child, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you have 6 children, 6, that are counting on you as their parents to be able to provide for them. That means a roof over their head and food, and to be able to give them clothes, and to be able to get them back and forth to school. Now, what would happen for you if not only you went into a spiral, into a tailspin, right, at the end of the first level of the game, but everything started to fall apart? You lost your job, you lost your income, you lost even a situation where it's potentially going to be your home. Okay, now, the lady that you're about to meet here tonight, she was actually in that position. Okay, now 3 of the kids lived with her, and 3 of the kids lived out of state, but they were in a position where they had an eviction notice, okay, eviction notice with 3 kids, and the water had been cut off for 2 days, okay, with 3 kids. So there's 5 people there in the household, no water. They've got an eviction notice, and they're now panicking because they're literally days away from being homeless and out on the street. And they didn't have anybody that they could count on. There's no safety net there. So what were they going to do? They were actually in a business that could potentially produce some cash flow for them, but it wasn't producing any. They didn't know what to do or where to turn. So they called me, and it was one of those days where I did what's called a universal deposit, right? Contributing, giving back, and making a difference into another person's life. And we were probably on the phone for about an hour. Okay, now normally if I was to do that, that would have been $1,000 that I just literally gave away, okay? And I believe that this is part of the law of reciprocity, is that the more that you give, the more that you receive, right? It's kind of a law of the universe. So I shared with them some secrets, some 7-figure secrets that I use. And I said, you know, here are the exact things that you need to do to turn your life around. Exactly, step by step, like literally handing you the paint by numbers set. And all you had to do was to follow what I told you to do. Okay, now, thankfully, they were coachable. Thankfully, they didn't let their pride and their ego get in the way, and they just listened. And within a 10-day period of time, they made $5,400. Okay, now when you're at the bottom of the bottom, guys, I'm telling you, $5,400 in 10 days seems like the flipping lottery. Okay, I'm not joking you. It seems like you just won the lotto, right? When you can make that type of money that fast. Now, what they did from there is they put the first payment down on the Top Recruiters Academy, and they started on this journey. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's an emotional journey, but it's worth it, right? It's worth it coming out the other side free. It's worth getting rid of all that baggage that we hold right here in our Pandora's box and getting it out of your body so that you can advance to the next levels of abundance, okay? Now, it's been about 12 weeks or so. I'm going to let Jennifer actually tell you the story, but I think they've actually made about $30,000. Stuff's going off like fireworks on the 4th of July right now. They fully stepped into full-blown leaders, guys, okay? I'm talking about these would be people that I would hand over the keys to my own brand, Black Ops, and I would let them broadcast on my behalf, okay? So that is a massive transformation from being at the very bottom and almost homeless, almost bankrupt, and now, a few months later, for me to be able to say, guys, boom, here's your stars. Like, you guys earned this, and you've done it, and I want to say congratulations, and here you go. Here's the keys, right? Here's the keys to the kingdom, right? So, Jennifer, welcome to this call. I'm really, really excited to have you here on this broadcast. Talk to us a little bit about that emotional journey and what you had to go through, because I'm telling you, you guys were at rock bottom. So tell us a little bit about that story.
Oh my God, Darren. First of all, thank you for having me on this broadcast. It's always a pleasure to be on your webinars and sharing, everything we've learned and been able to accomplish because of everything that you've taught us. So thank you for having me here. So I want to start off with that. But man, you just going over our story, it made me freaking tear up again because it's so true, and it's crazy how all this stuff happened in such a short amount of time. It wasn't like a year or 2 years later. Like, this literally happened in all, in the last like 12 weeks, guys. Like, it's been insane. So, we were at the bottom. Like, we had lost everything. I was doing my network marketing company for 3 years, and I felt like I was stuck. And I didn't know like what was going on. My team was falling apart. Everything was just falling apart. And, we got into the Millionaire Mentoring Program with you, and we knew that there was something there. Like, we knew that there was people there making money, but we knew that there was something more. We knew that there was something wrong with us. Like, that was where the difference was. We knew that there was something holding us back from greatness. And when you announced the Top Recruiters Academy, we didn't have the money, and we were like, man, we're going to make it happen. We got to get in here somewhere or another. We're going to make it happen. And I remember to this day, the day that we said that, me and Jose was talking in the bathroom, and we were talking about it, and like the room shook, and the freaking the frame from the wall fell on the floor. That I even called you right after, Darren. I was like, Darren, like, you don't understand what just happened in my bathroom. Like, it was like this energy wave. And for me, that was like a sign that we had to do this, because when we were talking about that, saying that we had to come up with the money, like we was going to figure it out, It was like a sign right there. And then, you know, we didn't have the money. So now it was like, okay, game time. What are we going to do? We have to be in this academy or else we're going to miss out. Like, we knew there was more. And, you know, we were going through that struggle, you know, 2 months backed up in our rent. I'm talking about, we owed everything. Like, our car was about to get repossessed. We had 2 days without water. You know, everything was just going downhill. And, you know, Jose, because of our ego and being a man, right? He didn't want me to reach out to you, but I was like, you know what? He knows what he's talking about. I'm going to reach out to him and tell him my situation, and let's just see what he says. Like, let me just see. Like, I was just praying for an answer of hope, you know, like when I send you that message. And, oh my God, I'm trying not to cry. And when you called me back, you called me right away. Like, you didn't even message me. You just called me. And I looked at my phone. And I was like, oh, my God, Darren is calling me. Like, I got to pick up. I picked up the phone. And you told us, you're like, you know, you have what it takes. You have to do this, A, B, and C. And this is going to happen for you. And, you know, 10 days later, we made $5,400. And like you said, you know, that's probably not a lot to, you know, people. But to us, it was like, like, we can pay the freaking rent and not worry about living in the street. That was all I was thinking about, you know, how we were going to be able to pay the rent and not have to beg somebody to stay in their house or something with 3 kids. You know, my youngest is 3 years old. So imagine, you know, being stressed out, going through all that stuff. It was a very, very difficult time for us. So when we made, you know, 10 days later, we made those $5,400. It was like hitting the lotto, like you said. It was literally like hitting the freaking lotto. And then after that, oh my God, it was like that, it was like a ripple effect. We just kept doing what you taught us, and we just kept doing it. Within a week, we flew to St. Thomas. We had one of the best vacations of our life. Like, literally, guys, this was all in less than a month of me having that conversation with Darren. You know, we flew to St. Thomas to a wedding we were supposed to be in, but we didn't have the money to be there. So we didn't think we were even going to make it. So we go to St. Thomas, we go to this wedding, and the reason why I mentioned the St. Thomas thing, because I want to talk about what Jose's doing now. So during our our visit in St. Thomas, we were applying the same skills that you were teaching us online, right? We applied that offline. So through that trip, Jose was able to network and meet some awesome people and connect with some people that got him on a business venture right now. Like, Jose's in Detroit. He's going to be traveling every week in different parts of the United States. He just landed a 6-figure gig. And it's just because of everything that we've been able to learn through this academy. So not only has that happened for us offline, you know, ever since we had our income explosion. We now are a part of 4 online businesses, and they're all doing amazing, you know, because we've been able to apply the same strategies in everything that we do. So, you know, it's just been like an amazing journey. And yes, when you said that the journey was emotional, the whole, you know, 7 weeks of Top Recruiters Academy, I probably cried like every day, but it was so worth it because I was able to learn more about me, more about how I can control what happens in my life. You know, before a lot of bad things happened to me and I will blame the world or blame this or blame that. Now I know with what I learned here, now I know that it was my fault, those things that happened. And now I know how not to let those things happen again. Like, I am not going to allow us to get so deep down the rabbit hole like we were, because now we're able to control, you know, what we bring into our life. And it's all because of this training that you have created. We are forever grateful. And I always talk about the Top Recruiters Academy to everybody, not even people like in our industry. I'm talking about anybody that feels some type of block, that wants to 10x their life in any area. You need Top Recruiters Academy, because it's going to cover all those areas, not just in business, in your whole entire life, guys, like your whole life. I mean, I've even been able to, you know, get along better with Jose. Even our relationship has got better because now we are more spiritually intimate with each other. I feel like that has brought us together as well because of this program. So yeah, I mean, oh my God, I could keep talking for hours and hours and hours of how much this program has transformed our lives. And now, you know, we're able to to help other people, you know, help more people what we originally wanted. And I'm just so blessed, and I cannot wait to see like what the future holds, because, you know, we're gonna keep applying these strategies in everything that we do, and we're gonna hit the $1 million. I wanted to tell you, Darren, that we're gonna start our YouTube channel is gonna be called My First Million. So we're gonna document our whole journey and everything that you've taught us and how we've been able to apply it in this YouTube channel. I'm so excited.
Fantastic. That's so great. Guys, what I want to share.
Thank you, Darren. We so appreciate you. And, you know, everything that I told you this morning, I cherish it. And, you know, I know what you went through to teach us, to learn, first of all, the stuff that you've taught us, because I got to learn more about you, you know, in the more personal level. And I treasure your training. It's very, very valuable. I want you to know that. And I recommend it to everyone, hands down.
Fantastic. This is so exciting, guys. You know, this right here, I just want you to know, this is what our industry really is about, okay? It's about helping people to step into their greatness and give them wings so that they can fly, okay? Give them wings so that they can fly. Now, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. It has no different. It doesn't matter. In fact, I've got a realtor that just went through Top Recruiters Academy that made an additional $33,000 in commissions. Plus, she just sent me another one with a big trophy with a big sold sign across the picture. But what's changed? What's changed now? She's now stepped into leadership where she's become a leader for all these other realtors, and she's now putting on her own seminars on how to be a top realtor. So she's giving value to the marketplace, right? So other realtors are looking to her as the expert, and she's now teaching them how to leverage social media to get new leads, new listings, how to market properties, how to do customized videos, because I gave her this little tiny secret that we use as seven-figure income earners. A lot of the things that you see being done, guys, just so you know, there's a little secret kind of behind it. Okay, now this one particular secret that I gave her was a video software that already comes with all of the filming in it. It already comes with the music in it. It already comes with the areas to put your type in, so that you literally have like feature film quality commercials, right? 10-second commercials for whatever it is that you're marketing. And your cost for those videos is about 25 bucks a pop, $25. Now, think about that. Just knowing that one thing of how many tens of thousands of dollars that would save you in model cost, film crew, the music rights to the actual music that goes on the videos, the editing function, to put this all together like a feature film type, something that you would see on television, guys, okay, for AT&T or some major corporation, Coca-Cola or whatever. I'm talking about high-end, okay, high-end marketing. And this one little tiny secret is helping her to 10x quantum leap her business to a completely different level. Okay. Now, the bizarre thing is when she sent me one of the videos, I didn't even realize that it was actually the software that she used. And here's me thinking, I'm the one that gave her the tool. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, right? She's really stepped up her marketing game. Holy cow. She must have spent a fortune on this stuff. And then after I watched it, I went, oh, that's the tool I gave her, right? So it's all about these little secrets that we have, that we personally use, so that we can actually have multiple revenue streams. Okay, so here's the biggest mistake I'll share with you that most people make in their business. So let's say that you're with a weight loss company, or you're with a skincare company, and you're out, let's say that you're with, I don't know, like Prove It is a weight loss company, and you're out in the market and you're saying, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, okay? You've literally just lost 99% of your market. Now, why is that? Because if I'm with ZJ International, I'm with Prepaid Legal, I'm with Amway, I'm with LifeVantage, I already think I have my ticket to the promised land. Otherwise, I wouldn't have joined my primary business, okay? So I think I've got what I'm looking for, and I'm not interested in what you got because it's another ticket to the promised land, right? So guess what happens? That's what happens, okay? So now what are you going to say? Well, our company's better than your company. Our marketing plan is better than your marketing plan. We get more seven-figure income earners than you do, right? So you're in conflict right away. Each company is trying to outperform and outdo why their company's better. I don't have to ever deal with that because I'm focusing on the pain of the marketplace. What's the pain? People do not want to harass their friends and family. It's huge pain, guys. Okay, if you've been taught to make a list of your friends and family, I can tell you it totally sucks, right? And most people, if they've been through it a couple times, they get this queasy feeling in their stomach. They're like, I don't want to do that. Now, why? Because they don't want to get rejected, okay? They don't want their dream pummeled down to nothing, right? So that they lower their confidence and self-esteem because they're excited about whatever product or service that they're marketing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have joined that company in the first place. So they don't like getting rejected. But what happens when they run out of their top 200 list? They don't know how to generate leads. So what do? Buy leads and cold call them? If they're using the pitch model, massive rejection, guys. Massive rejection, okay? Now, even if I handed you 20,000 leads, you wouldn't know how to close and upsell those people anyway, because you're coming from pitching and trying to convince people that you have what they need when you don't even know what they want, right? Now, the other thing is once you're in that situation as well, you don't know how to close an upsell, so you don't get any team duplication because you're not even having any success. People want to follow results. That's what they want to follow. They want to know that you know what you're doing, that you can take them to the promised land. Well, if you don't have any results yourself, then how can you go out and tell them that you got the best business opportunity in the world? Think about that. How can you tell that person that you've got the best business opportunity in the world when you can't even make a full-time income yourself? So guess what they say? Number one, how long you been in? You go, I've been in a year. Well, how much money are you making? Now what do? You're not making any. You can hardly even afford your auto ship, right? So you're setting yourself up for failure because you don't even have any results yourself. It's a huge problem, guys. So people are in this little hamster wheel. They think they've got something great, but they don't know how to properly market it because they don't understand the pain of the marketplace. Now, what's the difference in this? What's the difference? So let's say that I'm with Prove It, okay, and you're with Jeunesse Global, okay? Now, instead of me marketing my weight loss on the front end, I'm going to market to the pain. So I go onto social media and I say, hey, everyone, I just learned this really cool strategy that generated over 400 red hot targeted leads in the last 4 days on Facebook. Does anybody want to learn how? Guess who's coming? They're all coming. Empower Network, Jeunesse Global, Prepaid Legal, LifeVantage, DA, they're all coming, guys. Everybody's coming. Now I'm assembling targeted buyers, right, that are already sold on the business model. Now, if the value that you provide as a leader dwarfs the value that they're getting from their current leader, guess what happens? They jump ship and they join you, okay? So you're not promoting or pitching your deal on the front. That's going to happen behind door number one. That's on the back side. On the door number one on the front end is helping people solve their pain in any business, any industry, any home-based business, network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, MLM. It doesn't matter, guys. The model's the same. It can be transformed into every single category. Doesn't matter what industry that you're currently in. Now, imagine this. Imagine that when I was working for this one company called Explocial, I was actually the top income earner of the company, okay? So here's me as the top income earner of the company, okay? Now, the rest of the reps were promoting this thing, which was the company, Explocial, okay? But I wasn't. Now, how could that be? How could the top income earner be the biggest recruiter and the biggest cash generator, but not promote the company? How could that even happen? Guess what I was doing? I was promoting my special sauce over here. This thing targeted the pain of the marketplace. Everybody needed this thing. So they would say, I want that. And all the income stories started to come out of my Academy of Quantum Physics Mind Mastery. I want that. Oh, well, you get that when you join this. Okay. So right now, I'm the #1 income earner with a company called Exodus. Okay. I don't market Exodus. I sell the products, but I don't market the company. Okay. Now, why is that? Because I solve the pain of the marketplace over here with Black Ops Underground Marketing. So all the testimonies come from this. This is my special sauce. So we've got the 17-year-old kid that made $50,000 in 6 weeks over here. We got the guy that just escaped, or he didn't escape, he finished his term in prison, but he made $28,500 his first month. We've got people that are single moms, $10,000 their first month. Part-time engineers, full-time, part-time online, $13,000 first month. How can that be, right? So I'm marketing this, but you get this when you join this, okay? Now, here's the secret. Now, a lot of people, let's say that somebody's in this company already, okay? So they're in this company, they're not making any money, okay? And they go, well, I want that. How do I get that, right? I'm already in this. Well, I guess you're gonna have to buy it again. It's the only way that you can get in. You have to get in through our team if you want this, okay? So now you become the attractor factor. Now, all of the testimonials of all the income come from what you do, your special sauce. What makes you unique and different? The only place that people can get it is from you, right? And that's what we do in the Top Recruiters Academy. We help you to develop your own special sauce. So Charlene, as an example, she's written her own book right now and published it in the last 2 months. She's got her own boot camps and her own mentoring, things that she's rolling out that have to do with other marketing strategies that deal with the same type of principles. Jose and Jennifer, what they found is that they really like to be able to network through a Zoom portal, right? So that they could show people how to actually become a professional friend. So they're giving value to people on the front end, right? Value that's going to help them in their business. And guess what happens during that process? You get to build a relationship. And business is built on relationships, guys, okay? We've got people that might focus on Snapchat, Instagram, Pinterest, right? YouTube videos, Facebook Live, Facebook, right? Twitter, blogging, whatever. All you've got to do is pick one, okay? One single strategy. You don't need 100 different strategies to get to 7 figures, trust me, okay? The one that I really mastered was Facebook, okay? So I was able to show people how they could leverage the power of Facebook with free strategies using their wall, a personal development group, and a fan page, okay? 3 different areas, they're all free. And I could show them not only how they could get up to, say, 5,000 friends, which, just so you know, once you learn our strategies, your 5,000 friends is worth $500,000, okay? No joke. 5,000 friends is worth $500,000 for you. It's roughly about 10%, okay? Now, in addition to that, if you follow our content formula, you start to get a lot of followers. So just on my regular Facebook page, okay, I've got over 19,000 followers. That's just my regular Facebook page. I'm not talking about paid advertising here, guys. I'm talking about free stuff, okay? So 5,000 friends plus 19,000 followers here. And then in the personal development group here, there's probably another 4,300 leads. And then over on my fan page, there's probably about another 5,000 leads. But I can use this now to boost out my posts to get to a larger audience, because Facebook is starting to whittle down the amount of viewers that actually see your stuff. So you've got to learn these content strategies on how to make your content go viral. Okay. How do you get people to share it? How do you get people to comment on it? How do you get people to like your posts? How do you get your Facebook lives so that a lot of people will show up? How do you get interaction on your posts? How do you get more people to open your emails? How do you get people to phone you from an email, to actually pick up the phone and phone you about your business, or add you onto Skype, or reach out to you on Facebook, or get looped back around to your personal development group where you can provide more value? We're in an industry, guys, of providing value to the people. And with our industry rates at 97% failure rate, trust me, there's a lot of leads out there. There is a beaucoup number of leads for your business once you learn these strategies. Now, a lot of people don't even know this, okay? But did you know that in our industry, in the home-based business industry, 0.1% of the people make more than $400 a month? 0.1, okay? Now, how is it possible for us to take a 17-year-old kid that's never marketed before, that's never had any success before, teach him a formula, teach him some strategies, and 30 days later, he's got $35,000 cash in the bank. And within 6 weeks, $50,000 cash at 17 years old. Now, I want you to really think about the power of that. Now, when he came to us, his real true goal is he wanted to put together enough money that he could get into investing, and he wanted to become a Forex trader, right? So he had $50,000 that he could put into a Forex account to start learning about Forex trading. Pretty darn good position to be in. We have other people that say that they want to do a renovation on their house. It's going to cost $100,000, or they want to go buy a sailboat and travel around the world. It's going to cost them $150,000, whatever. Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter what your dream is, right? We've got people that haven't seen their parents over in Europe for 15 years that want to be able to raise enough money so that all the family, all the grandkids can fly over to Europe to finally see their parents again that they haven't been able to see for 15 years. Okay, so it doesn't matter what your dream is. It doesn't matter if you're in corporate America or if you're in a trade, right? We've got one guy who's a construction worker and he broke his leg. And now how are you going to be able to do construction with a broken leg? A little bit of a problem there, right? He's not going to be able to go onto the job site with a broken leg. So the online avenue was really the only type of income that he was going to be able to generate. But he couldn't get any traction, guys, because there's so many different rabbit holes and so many different directions. And who do you believe? Okay, I'll tell you what I believe. I believe a millionaire mentor. That's what I did. I believe my millionaire mentor. I surrendered my pride. I surrendered my ego. I went all in, and I trusted everything he told me, and I walked forward in complete blind faith. This is a true story. That's really what happened. Now, the interesting thing is that I didn't know this. I didn't know that the strategies that he was teaching me in that network marketing company that I was going to later use in corporate America and later use in venture capital and later use to raise tens of millions of dollars and later use to take companies public and make millions of dollars myself. I had no idea. I didn't know that these were transferable skills, okay? So the construction worker, as an example, one of them, he's probably in around 50 years old or something. He's made over $40,000 working with us. We also have a 23-year-old kid who came from construction. His very first month working with us, he made $26,000. So, you know, Jennifer, I know that when you and I kind of first connected and you heard me talking about, you know, stuff that might have sounded a little bit woo-woo, right? When I was talking about quantum physics and, you know, the law of attraction and how we actually create the reality and the electrons. What were some of the things that were going through your mind when I was talking about this stuff?
Oh my God. I thought, I was like, man, is this guy crazy? I was like, what in the world is all this stuff? Like, Jose had a little background as far as knowing what quantum physics was. I, on the other hand, I had even no idea that this existed. It was just all new to me. So I was just, you know, in the beginning of the training, the first couple of weeks, I was just kind of like taking it in and like taking all this information in, because a lot of information, but it was also so new to me. But like I said, when that stuff happened in my room, with in the bathroom with the wall, like I knew that had to do with something with our energy, and I know that all came from the quantum. I know it intertwined, but I didn't know how it did. And you know, you were able to explain that to us through this training. We've been able to learn what quantum physics is, how to manifest what we really want, and it's just, it was very emotional, you know, it was very emotional. So I'm trying to like read back, think, you know, the last 8 weeks that we did with you, it was very emotional, but I feel free, you know, like I mean, I speak for myself, but I know Jose also feels free, because, you know, he had a lot of baggage from his childhood growing up that was holding him back from his greatness. And I now see him, you know, like a more enlightened person, you know, like
You still there, Jennifer? Okay, Jennifer will be back here shortly in a second here. She's just going to be reloading. So guys, what I want to share with you is this here. You know, it doesn't matter where you're currently at on your life path. A lot of people, what happens is they come up against this wall, okay? So let's say that this is you here in your reality, okay? There's an invisible barrier between you and your dream. It's real, okay? It's not science fiction. It's not some illusion. There is an energetic barrier between the reality that you're currently in and the reality that you want to get to, okay? This is factual, guys. Now, what happens is, imagine that there's this wall here, and if you don't have enough front-end inertia coming to this wall, forward pushing against this wall, it's kind of like brushing up against the wall of success. You will never break through. You will never, ever, ever break through, okay? You will brush up against the wall and fall, brush up against the wall and fall. And just so you know, the human brain is actually programmed to self-destruct, okay? It's programmed to self-destruct. Now, this is all part of the human condition that you're going to learn how to overcome in the Top Recruiters Academy. 70 to 80% of your thoughts every day are negative, okay? And that's part of the human condition, and it's not going away, guys. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, okay? You're stuck with it for the rest of your life. So will you get better? Yes, you will, right? That requires some skills. It requires some training. It requires some coaching. It requires some understanding of that process of sabotage, sabotage. You have to literally be coming up to your dream here, like with full-blown momentum, to be able to pop and break through and get liftoff, okay? Now, I show people in the Top Recruiters Academy, I show them an actual visual of what it looks like, okay? So what I did this one time, and it's kind of interesting how the universe will provide for you once you're on your path and your purpose and you're on your life mission. And I set an intention that I wanted to show people what inertia actually looked like. Now, I was selling a product that was $154.95. So it wasn't even a big amount of, big ticket item or anything, $154.95. And I was implementing all the strategies that I was doing. My first week, I sold one. Okay, now keep in mind, guys, I was busting my ass and I sold one, okay? Now the commission on it was $125, okay? So imagine working as hard as, and I worked hard, trust me, okay? 18 hours a day for 125 bucks. Didn't look like much, okay? The following week was the same. Okay, I only made $125. I made one sale. Here's the interesting thing. I understand inertia, okay? And it's in the third week that you get the pop, right? So it looks like nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Now, most people would have gone, oh, is it really worth it? This doesn't even work. Oh, right? They would have started broadcasting Wounded Puppy. their self-talk would have got control over them and sabotaged their success, right? But I kept on barreling forward, barreling forward. My third week, I made around $1,000, okay? My fourth week, I made around 1,600, right? My next week after that, I made 2,300. The next week after that, I made 2,700. And the next week after that, I made 4,600. Now, if I had taken that data from the first 2 months and done what most people do, I'd have been out of the game, because the amount of energy that I was putting in didn't warrant only getting paid $125. And it went for 2 weeks like that, guys. 125 month one, or week one, 125 week two, but pop up to 1,000, right? And then it just went into straight vertical liftoff. Now, when you add up all of those weeks, right, was probably about 47 days total to go from nothing. And I went to over 12,000 in monthly residual income. Now, would you do that? Would you be able to master your mind in this front section to be able to break through and pop and break the inertia to start that snowball into flight to end up with, it was like 12,300 and some dollars in monthly residual income, but only took like 46, 47 days. And I actually show the data, right? I show it to you so that you can actually see it and get the visual of it. Now, when you can see it, it actually makes a big difference on you to actually be able to do it yourself. So what I do is I go behind the scenes and I give you my data on everything. So when I roll out a campaign, how many people registered, how many people showed up, how many people actually purchased from the broadcast, where did I actually market the broadcast to, how did I generate the actual opt-ins in the first place? If I used traffic, what kind of traffic did I use? What was my traffic source? And then where did I do my aftermarket? Because when you're rolling out a campaign, you've got your pre-promotion, and then you've got the event itself, and then you've got your after promotion. So what is that? How's that all work? This is the step-by-step blueprint to everything. All the stuff that I do, and I've made millions and millions of dollars myself personally, guys, I share all of it, right? Including my own story that I had to go through to even be able to get this information in the first place. And let me tell you, I almost actually lost my life, okay? True story. I almost lost my life to be able to, I call it taking a hit for the team. I actually kind of joke about it now, about taking a hit for the team, because I was almost not here, okay? That's what I'm talking about really having to go through the school of hard knocks to be able to get to your breakthrough. Now, a lot of people, they don't embrace their breakthrough. They don't embrace the tragedies and the things that they're going through in their life. And it's not until they actually learn some of these formulas and they realize that it's their thoughts, it's their words, and it's their emotional connection to either everything they want or everything that they don't want that's creating the reality. And they don't even realize they're manifesting more shit for themselves in their lives, okay? And a lot of times it's not until that spiral goes so far down the rabbit hole that you cannot take the emotional pressure anymore that you finally buckle, right? And that's when you're coachable. That's when you're coachable. So, Jennifer, let me ask you this. What would you say, we've got people tuned in here from all around the world, all four corners of the world, as far away as Africa, the UK, throughout Canada and the US. We've got even people, guys, as far away as Spain right now, Portugal, and over in the eastern of Europe. What would you tell these people that have come to this broadcast today that are wondering, should I do Top Recruiters Academy?
Oh my God, should you? Why should you not? You shouldn't even think about it, because after everything that you've heard in this webinar, all these stories, it's not just from Darren talking, it's from his students, everybody that's been applying the strategies that he's taught us. So throw your hat over the wall, how Darren says, and get your butt into Top Recruiters Academy, because I tell you that your life will never be the same. You know, you're going to learn so many things and be able to apply them in anything that you do, and 10x anything that you're currently doing. I'm excited to see who's going to come in and welcome you guys in our group. And I'm excited. I'm excited. Throw your hands over the water and get into Top Recruiters Academy.
Fantastic. Guys, what I want to share with you is this. You can actually go to my website at darrenlittle.com and click on the button that says Millionaire Mentoring. And I want you to really understand, why do I do this? Okay, why do I actually do this for other people? Okay, if you look at my Millionaire Mentoring rate, it's $1,000 for a 1-hour session. If somebody does a 90-day program, it's 10 grand. And if they do a 1-year program, it's $40,000. Okay, those are real prices, and they're actually on my website right now. Okay, now what I've done is I've put together a specific program that goes through a compression, a 2-month intensive, where it's every Saturday for 4 hours. Now, I will tell you that there's homework that's going to be involved in this process, but it is well worth that journey, okay? So what if you got to go through a little bit of Kleenex? Big deal, right? At least you'll be able to get rid of all the baggage. We've had people that have lost between 9 and 30 pounds just to getting rid of the garbage out of their life, that it's all emotional. It's the body holding on to these events that have gone on in their childhood. And the gateway, just so you know, to your dream is actually backwards, okay? It's kind of bizarre, but that's really the truth. Your gateway to your dream is actually backwards in your reality in the time continuum. So when we take the 4-hour sessions per week, okay, so that's 8 weeks times 4-hour sessions, and then I do a lot of additional bonus sessions or bonus trainings, sometimes through the week time, just on a sporadic basis. So if we have enough people there, and it's all recorded so that you can watch it later, it's over $38,000 in Millionaire Mentoring. That's real, okay? It's not a number that I make up. It's not something that I'm trying to pump you up to some other thing so that it's a big number. It's not like that, guys. Those are real Millionaire Mentoring numbers, and you can see them right on my website, okay? Now, what I do, because I want to be able to help the masses, right? I want to be able to help people get to their next level breakthrough, step into their power, step into their leader, become the leader of their company, go rising up to the top of the leaderboards. And it doesn't matter what you market, guys. Weight loss, skincare, nutraceuticals, power, energy drinks. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference what your products are. I want to be able to see my students rise up into the top 10 within their particular company. Doesn't matter what company they're in. We got people from all walks of life and all walks of companies, okay? So here's what I've done. The one-time payment right underneath this particular broadcast, you'll see, is $4,750. But I go even one step further for you. I break it up into 2 payments, and you got to be pretty darn confident in your content to deliver it to somebody's breakthrough if you're willing to let them put a deposit down and a month later pay the second payment. Because if you're not delivering good content and getting that person and helping them to gain new skills to become the attractor factor, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to want to pay, right? Think about that. So you really have to be all in as far as me goes, because I'm actually investing into you, okay? I'm investing into your dream, your future, your relationship with your spouse, right? With your significant other, with your family, to be able to get you to your breakthrough, right? So I only work with 15 people, okay? That's it, right? Once the shopping cart goes up to 15, boom, we are shut and it's done, okay? Now, here's something I'm going to share with you. March was sold out, okay? April was sold out, okay? May was sold out. June was sold out, okay? Now, the interesting thing is that of the 15 people in the last group, 4 of them wanted to do it again and do another 2 months because their lives transformed so dramatically. Okay, so imagine that you're paying one time, but you're going to now do it a second time so that you can get 4 months straight of millionaire mentoring. 4 people out of 15 actually did it a second time. Okay, so I want for you to really understand how profound that is, because I've never heard of somebody going to the firewalk and then 2 months later booking themselves into the firewalk again. This is training that will affect every single area of your life. Okay, I'm talking about health and wellness, spiritual and emotional, family and relationships, career, travel, contribution, giving back, and making a difference. Okay, all these different areas of your life literally start to transform like a diamond, and you become like an eagle with wings. So what I would encourage you to do is this. Whatever reason you've come to this broadcast tonight, and typically people show up to this type of thing when they're ready for a breakthrough. It's the truth, guys. Okay, something has brought you here today. Something has magnetically pulled you to be right here, right now, right in front of this broadcast. And we're only on our 3rd day of our campaign right now, okay? There's already 6 spots that are already gone right now, okay? So we're on the countdown, going to the 1st of July, and I'm going to be interviewing more of my students, trust me, and it's going to be going all over the internet, and there's 9 spots left, and it's going to go, boom, shut down, okay? So if you're here and you really want to go next level, and you go, Darren, I really want to do it, but I don't have the $4,750, you can do it with split payment. It's only $250 more, but the gamble is on me. Okay, I'm taking the risk for you and investing into you so that you can be in a position where you're going to be able to come up with the second payment so that you can get vertical liftoff and completely and totally change your life forever. Okay, so Jennifer, first of all, I just want to say congratulations on your next level breakthrough. I'm excited for you. I'm fired up. Guys, throw your hat over the wall. Click that link below. Get in. July 1st is our first session. It's going to run for 8 weeks, a millionaire mentoring intensive program. My name is Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Thanks a lot for joining us on this exclusive and private VIP broadcast. Click that link below. I'm excited for you. I'm fired up. Throw your hat over the wall. And thanks a lot for joining us, and have a great night. All the best.